Hey everyone, it is tea time with the diva. Grab your tea, grab your coffee, because we're going to get into it. This tea time is dedicated to the Houstons and the Bobby Brown family. And why the Houstons? Because most recently, the monarch of the family, Cissy Houston, passed away, and may she rest in peace. And so Bobby Brown, because rightfully so, Cissy Houston used to be his mother-in-law because he was married to the voice, Whitney Houston. But allegedly, Cissy Houston was pissed at Bobby Brown, cursed the day that he met Whitney Houston and married her, because Cissy Houston, according to the family, blames Bobby Brown for Whitney Houston's death, for her being on drugs, and everything in between. So they pretty much said, how dare you post a tribute saying rest in peace to Cissy Houston, knowing that she didn't like you, couldn't stand you to the moment she took her last breath. And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. You're talking about Cissy Houston, born and raised in the church. Whitney Houston, who started singing in the church. To her last breath, she couldn't stand Bobby Brown. Was there no forgiveness? And especially because Whitney Houston's own brother, Cissy Houston's son, admitted on the Oprah Winfrey Show that he is the reason why Whitney Houston was into drugs. So, do you really want to deflect and blame the man that she got with later and married? He's the reason for her downfall. And listen, at the end of the day, we all got free will. Somebody could walk up to me tomorrow. Hey, Diva, you want some Mary Jane? No, thank you. You want some cocoa? I'm good. You want a drink? I'll pass. We have the right to say no. Why do we now want to say that adults or was forced by someone else to do something? And why do they want to continually blame Bobby Brown and mad that he survived and Whitney didn't, when her own brother taught her how to use substances? So let's go ahead and get into this story. And actually, you know what? Before we get into the story, let me share the reminder of when Whitney Houston brother said himself that I taught this girl how to take substances. Let's take a listen.
You know, your mother writes in her book about how you were doing drugs with your sister. Your mother writes in Remembering Whitney, I was shocked and hurt and confused. I didn't understand it then, and I still don't. How does it feel to hear your mother say that?
It's painful. You know, I feel responsible for it. I let it go so far.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were always, like you said, being together most of the time, and her following behind me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I taught her to drive. We played together. You know, and everything that you do together as you're growing up, and then when you get into drugs, you do that together too, and it just got out of hand. You know, just drug is rough.
That's out of her own brother's mouth. The mother wrote a book. It's saying to us that she was shocked that her own son introduced her daughter to substances. So let me get into the current story. Let me share screen again. Hold on one second. So Whitney Houston's ex, Bobby Brown, rubbed salt in the wound of her mother, Cissy Houston's death by sending her devastated family love and peace tribute. He was just saying condolences. Why are they out of control? Okay, so Bobby Brown upset members of the Whitney Houston's family with his tribute to the late mom, Cissy. RadarOnline.com can reveal Cissy despised the Every Little Step singer for getting her daughter hooked on drugs, and she blames him for the superstar's death. Did she really? Well, she herself wrote a book. I just played it for y'all. She was sitting there, Oprah, Cissy Houston, and Cissy Houston's son, and he said, I got my sister on the drugs. So what are we doing here? His tribute on Monday, in which he said his love and blessings went down especially badly, according to insiders. A source told RadarOnline.com Bobby should have stayed well away from sending this tribute. Why? It was his mother-in-law at one time. Cissy went to her grave, despising him and believing he abused her daughter and got her hooked on drugs. That ultimately led to her death. Did she really? He should have kept his mouth shut, as the Houston family want nothing to do with him. He reminds them of nothing but tragedy and pain, and his words just rub salt in the wounds of their latest devastating loss. Cissy passed away at age 91 while receiving hospice care for Alzheimer's disease. Radar Online revealed this week she took her guilt over Whitney's death to her grave, believing she failed as a mother to get her daughter off of drugs. Now listen, if you carrying guilt, thinking that you didn't do right by your child, then that's on you, right? If you want to kind of put in the back of your mind or put out of your mind that your own other child got your daughter hooked on substances, that's one thing. But for the family to come out and say Bobby Brown is the devil, that's a whole nother level of crazy. They were married for 14 years. It's been 12 years since Whitney Houston death. At some point, y'all gotta let this thing go. Nothing y'all can do. Y'all can hate on Bobby Brown all day long. Is not gonna bring Whitney Houston back or Cissy Houston. Brown, who was married in Houston for 14 years, shared a joint message with his current wife, Alicia Eckridge Brown, to mark the passing of his former mother-in-law, writing, sending love and blessings to the Houston family on this great loss. May she rest in peace and power, the Browns. What is wrong with that message? Absolutely nothing. However, Cissy hated Brown, which made his tribute far somewhat with the Houstons. Radio Online revealed on Tuesday how much Cissy Houston disliked her former son-in-law. If I was the family, I would have sat this one out. It's a simple, basic rest in peace, and many would have expected for him to say something, because after all, he was married to the woman's daughter for 14 years. That's a long time. I think Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston, they was unfortunately the perfect storm together. It was a storm, a tsunami. It was a hot mess. But I also don't believe that she first got introduced to substances by Bobby Brown. I think when they met, they both indulged. I think it got worse when they was together as a couple. We saw it. If you ever watched that reality show, Being Bobby Brown, it was a train wreck. But I also think that Cissy Houston, may she rest in peace, deflected, because she sat on a chair next to her son, who clearly said, I introduced my sister to the substances and it went too far. Listen, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Let me know your thoughts on this Bobby Brown, Cissy Houston family situation. I personally think they should have just kept their mouth shut, accepted the tribute, what do you call it? Deal with their grieving period and bury their monarch of their family, Cissy Houston. Thanks for watching, guys. Tell me your thoughts. Hit the like button, and I'll see you on the next video.